And let's see if we can get Jewel to join us.
Woo.
There you are. Hey, good afternoon, Jewel.
Hi, Nate. How are you?
I am doing very well. I know that we had a few technical difficulties, but I think we have gotten through those. I really appreciate your time, and I'm so excited for you to join us on UMFS Live. And I wonder if I can just jump in by kicking things off and asking, how long have you been at UMFS?
On December the 1st, it will be 29 years.
29 years. That's amazing. And have you been at the how long has the office in Virginia Beach been there? I don't even know offhand.
So I think they opened like in 1988.
Okay.
And I
Okay. So
came in 91. Yes, I was a small child when I came.
well, we're so happy that you did, and we're so happy that you've been with us for the duration. It's amazing. It's something we've talked about here recently with a few different guests about the longevity. And I wonder if we can just jump into that. Then what brought you to UMFS?
Well, Nate, I guess, my response would be, I'm here because I'm supposed to be here. I think that I came here so that I could live my life's purpose.
That's amazing, beautifully stated, and a sentiment that I've heard from others. We are fortunate at UMFS to have a lot of unwavering champions who have been with us for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, like you almost. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So can I ask, as this being your purpose, what was the inspiration for you to do this important work?
So bear with me. I started out, I remember when I graduated from high school, and you know how they asked you, what do you want to do when you in life? And so I said I wanted to be a social worker, and I wanted to work with adoption. Now, mind you, I had no interactions with a social worker, didn't know anybody that had been adopted. So I go on to college, and when I get there, I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm going to major in education. But as soon as I got there and started enrolling in my classes, I was like, no, it has to be social work. So I graduate with my undergraduate degree. I work with some special needs kids for a minute. Then I go back to grad school. And when I finished grad school, I said, I want to work in the medical field. And I did that for a little bit. But then when I got this job, I didn't leave my previous job because I wasn't unhappy or didn't enjoy what I was doing, but I felt like I needed to do something different. So I feel like I was led here so that I could begin to walk in my life's purpose.
That's amazing. Amazing that you went out and learned different things and took different avenues and then landed back where you said, and where I believe is true, you were supposed to be. It's just wonderfully said. I'm hearing your audio great, but I am having a hard time right now with the video aspect. And I'm wondering if maybe you could just, in that room, if you can just maybe move your phone. Maybe it's just a bad spot in the room. Maybe we can clear that up.
Okay, let's see. I'll open the door. Maybe this. No better?
There you are. Yes. All right.
Okay.
So you had explored these other avenues and you ended up at UMFS. This has been your calling. Like I was saying a moment ago, it seems like many people have this deep connection and have remained here for long careers. What do you, Jewel, what do you think keeps people coming back year after year?
I think it's because our values really align with people. I know they do for me and my team. And because of the work environment, we are such a family. I think about the Tidewater office, that's my immediate family. And then the regional centers, those are my aunts and uncles, nieces, and nephews. So I think just the family culture and the support that we get here is just wonderful.
And yes, I agree. And when I have the opportunity to visit some of the regional offices or even different programs, they are so tight knit because obviously the work that you do is so important and you all are working towards such a great cause. So thank you for sharing that. Now, it is National Adoption Month, and I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about the generosity of foster and adoptive families.
I am always so impressed with our foster and adoptive families, because I think that they really are meeting the needs of the community. You know, we work with children in our therapeutic foster care program, and then in our adoption programs, we work with the kids who are considered difficult to place. And they're considered difficult to place because of their age and, of course, because of the neglect that they have endured. And so when our families provide that service, we really are meeting the needs of the community, because those are the kids, like I said, that are considered the most difficult to place. And so I am just always so impressed by their willingness to kind of hang in there and work with our kids.
And that's beautifully said. And having opportunities to speak with some of our foster families and adoptive families and seeing our own staff working with those families, it's clear to me, and it became clear to me early on when I began at UMFS about 4 years ago, that there are a lot of misconceptions. So once you get to know those young people, you realize something that I think is a common thread through the work that we do, which is it's not the child's fault. So during
Right.
National Adoption Month, it is really important to recognize that and remember that. Can you talk about then, as I was just saying, some of those misconceptions about those young people who come into care?
I think the biggest one is that our kids are bad, and I even hate to hear this, that they're damaged. Our babies are not damaged. They have certainly endured some trauma because of the abuse and neglect that they have experienced. But for me, I think that if the general society could understand that if your foundation is rocky, then you're going to be rocky. And so when we see our kids exhibiting those behaviors, it's because they just can't give voice to what they're feeling. And so they display it in their behaviors. And the good thing about our treatment foster care program is that we give our families some tools in order to be able to work with them. And so in my mind, I think, and I know in my heart, that when our kids know better, they do better.
We talk about it often, tools for success to help these young people. And that's what you and your team and all of our teams and direct care staff are doing with these young people. Somebody in our residential program in Richmond once said to me, it's important to ask these young people not why they do something, but how come they're feeling that way. And it helps sort of understand the root causes that you were just explaining. I'll back
Right.
up a few steps here, because we were talking earlier, you were giving us a glimpse into your early career. And I know that, again, you've been at UMFS for a number of years, nearly 30 years, and we're so happy you are. But if you had stayed out of that and continued down medical or teaching, where do you think you'd be today? What would you be doing?
I would say probably a teacher, but I know that I would have to work with kids and families because that's my passion. It would
Absolutely.
be, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's so clear. And I think in a lot of ways, you're using that interest in teaching to add to your toolkit that you bring to your team every day, and in turn bring to the families that you all serve at your office in Virginia Beach. Now, we talk a lot about self-care at UMFS. And I
Mhm.
wonder if you can tell me, after you've had a particularly challenging day at work, or maybe there's been a situation, what is it you do to reset when you're not working?
I like to go for walks. I like to go get my nails done. I enjoy spending time with my one and only grandson. He brings me so much joy. And I'm really looking forward to this time of the year because there's nothing like curling up on the sofa with my blanket and watching a Christmas Hallmark movie. So
The
those are the
time,
things I look for.
yeah, the time is here, and you have very much deserved an opportunity to grab a blanket and curl up. So I hope you get plenty of opportunities to do that through the holiday season. Tell me, Jewel, this work personally, how has it impacted you?
It helps me to know and recognize that our kids are so resilient, and that if they can get that stable foundation, then they are going to thrive and they will be okay. And I've also learned that we really do have to be careful about what we say, and that we want to speak life and positivity into our kids and our families. And I learned that early on when I was doing therapy. I was in a session with someone and I made some statement. And probably a couple of sessions later, she came back to me and she said, well, we remember you said da 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 da. That really stuck with me. And I remember thinking, okay, did I say that? You know, so I say that to say that you just really don't know what people are going to latch on to when you're talking to them. So just be mindful of what you speak, and speak life and healing into our kids and families.
That's very well said. We talk often about people first language and making sure that we are putting that person first. And it is so important because words have meaning. And the more you are working in this environment, the more you get to know just how much impact you have in the things you speak. So thank you for sharing that with us. We're rounding out here. We're nearing the end of the interview, but I do have one more question for you. I was wondering if you could share with us if there has been a particular young person or family that you've worked with that has made a particular lasting impact on you.
So this would be a kid that we worked with in our extreme recruitment program. He was 16 when we started working with him. He had been in care for 4 years. He had had 12 placements. And so in our extreme recruitment program, okay, we're looking for possible placement options for him. So we were actually able to locate his dad, and his dad was interested in parenting his child again. DSS was on board with it, so they worked with the father, and of course we worked with the kid, and this dad's rights were reinstated. And I was just thrilled to pieces because first of all, our kid met their permanency goal, and then he was able to be connected back with his family. And we know that our kids are going to fare better if they can be with families. So, you know, I say that to say that, you know, we just have to keep in mind that things change, situations change, and sometimes we just have to be willing to go back and revisit to do things that will have a long lasting impact on our kids.
We say it often, find, build, create families. And that right there is just an amazing example of the opportunity to help a young person who's in care reconnect with their biological family. And as you stated, it can be done, and it's wonderful when that happens. I'm so grateful that you shared that with us. Jewel, it's been great having you on UMFS Live. I so appreciate you helping me navigate some of the technical challenges we had, and I really appreciate your time. I want to wish you a happy holiday season and hope that you get to curl up on the couch and watch those Hallmark movies.
Thanks so much, Nate.
You're welcome. For everyone who joined us for UMFS Live, thank you very much. Be sure to tune in each week on our Instagram channel. You can also join us on our Facebook page for other news and content. Thanks so much. Have a great day.